Welcome to the Sports Gazette Live Newsday NFL Draft Recap. A weirdly long name for a weirdly long night we had. Next to me is Mitchell Marshall. He's our editor and from the United States, so perfect fit for us. Okay, he's not a Pro Bowler, he's not a Hall of Famer anyways, but at least he studied at BYU, Zach Wilson's university. He was the second pick this year, so I think you'll be the man we can talk to.
Absolutely.
NFL draft last night. Would you have ever thought you'll be down in Twickenham in the middle of the night in a small room, watching it without any friends and just hoping the Wi-Fi is not gonna die?
It was a unique draft experience for sure. I was exhausted about halfway through the first round, but I needed to see my team pick. I needed to see all the quarterbacks go, and that's kind of the point that I got to.
Your pick and your team, definitely Denver Broncos. You're from Colorado, but we're not gonna talk about them because what's your biggest surprise of the NFL draft night?
The biggest surprise is honestly not a draft pick. It's the buzz around Aaron Rodgers wanting out of Green Bay. He didn't get traded. The team says that they're going to call his bluff and see if they can get him to stick around. But I think he's going to end up leaving before the end of the season, and I do hope he ends up with my team. But the biggest surprise was that he kind of stole all the headlines right before the NFL draft, and that changed the way we thought about who was going to draft which quarterbacks, knowing that an all-time great was available.
So do you think he's gonna go to the Broncos? Do we have a chance to get it?
It'll take a lot of first-round picks. I think they will throw the kitchen sink, as you'd say, to try and get him. But Green Bay is just going to maybe hold on until desperation, where Aaron Rodgers might actually end up sitting out.
Okay, yeah, it's typical Rodgers, to be honest. He's kind of a diva, great quarterback, but he likes the headlines.
Yeah, he's unique unto himself. What about you? Watching along last night, reading now today, what do you feel like was the best value pick that somebody got in this draft?
Best value for me, Kyle Pitts, tight end. He was drafted by
tight end at number 4 is value.
Yeah, tight end at number 4 is value. We've seen great tight ends the last years. Gronk coming back, obviously. George Kittle. We've seen Travis Kelce. Now Kyle Pitts going to the Atlanta Falcons, which is a big statement because there were just some conversations about do they maybe draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because Matt Ryan is quite old and really expensive,
yeah.
But right now he's the happiest man on earth because he knows the next years he'll still be the number 1 quarterback for the Falcons and now get this real threat with Kyle Pitts. He's huge and massive, absolute mismatch, fast, quick, strong, nearly unguardable. I think that's a big value, and the Falcons offense already is stacked with Pitts going to score like 30, 35 points a game.
Well, it makes it really interesting because there were a lot of rumors that they were going to trade Julio Jones. And so now you want to pair those two together. I really doubt that that's going to happen at this point. They're going to give it one more big go with Matty Ice before they think about moving on at quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons and the Broncos are two teams that are actually looking for the quarterbacks in next year's draft.
Definitely. So who might regret already picking someone? What's your worst pick of the night?
So I have two. I have Mac Jones out of Alabama. I don't think he was a first-round quarterback. I think everyone gets really excited. They sex up all these quarterbacks, and really they all go a little bit too soon. So 5 is too many. He went at 15. He fell to the Patriots, and if there's a team that's going to make it work, it's going to be Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels with the Patriots. I just don't think he's that good. My second would be Payton Turner, who went to the New Orleans Saints. He's a defensive end. There just weren't very many good pass rushers, and everybody wants a guy who can hit the quarterback, and so they made a big reach. He wasn't even the highest rated defensive end on most mock drafts, so I don't know what they liked about him, but I think it was a shallow draft, but they felt like they had to get someone who could rush the passer.
Yeah, so there's already big talk about QBs. Trevor Lawrence, obviously number 1 quarterback.
Yeah. We give the QBs a lot of attention, and we do need to go over them again, but who do you think is the biggest pick outside, or what do you think are the smart picks outside of the quarterback position?
I like wide receivers. I like that Jamar Chase goes back to his buddy Joe Burrow to the Bengals. I think that's pretty interesting. Same as Jalen Waddle to the Dolphins, goes back to Tua. So they're going to reconnect with their college quarterbacks. A lot of talk. I like it. I know you're not the biggest fan of it because I think it's a bit overrated.
I think chemistry is overrated.
Yeah, chemistry is over. Maybe not. We'll see. Definitely interesting, I think, the Panthers getting a cornerback so early because they made the big move before the draft, getting Sam Darnold from the Jets, getting Teddy Bridgewater to Denver. So they have the QB now. They didn't need it anymore. And now getting a cornerback, I think that's a pretty strong statement.
We talk about how important quarterbacks are. That also means that defensive backs are more important because they're throwing the ball so much. That's the thing. The Broncos drafted a cornerback because he was the best available player, even though they already really have 2-3 quality starters at corner. So it's going to be interesting to see if these defenses can stop offenses that are featuring guys like Patrick Mahomes.
So we already spoke of Trevor Lawrence. What about the quarterbacks? What happened to them?
So yeah, top 2, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson went exactly where we thought that they would go. Honestly, the first 20 minutes of the draft were pointless. We knew what was going to happen. The big surprise was at 3, Trey Lance goes to the Niners, who paid a ton to get up into that position for a guy that might have fallen at least to 6, but a lot of their scouts really liked Lance. He's very raw. He only played at the FCS level, which is the second division in American college football. So he's going to be one to watch. But if anyone can develop him, it's Shanahan. I already talked about Mac Jones. The other one, Justin Fields, he fell. A lot of people thought he was the second best quarterback in this draft, maybe the second best player overall. So I wouldn't call it a gamble, but there's got to be a reason a lot of teams took their hands away. So the Bears move up, they move on from Mitchell Trubisky. That is going to be either the steal of the draft or it's going to be another sad season in Chicago.
I mean, at least they know their pain, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, that's us from our draft recap for the Sports Gazette today on the Live News Day. Thank you very much, Mitchell. If you want to know what's going to happen the next days on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round and so on, Joe Carrigan has more in the afternoon.